Welcome everybody, friends and family, to this video in which I will explain to you the science behind this revolutionary, life-transforming, awakening and energizing meditation called SOMA Breath. SOMA Breath is fully backed up by science as it was invented by a scientist, a pharmacist who had an autoimmune disease that chemical drugs were not helpful to cure. He then turned himself to yoga and meditation and cured his autoimmune disease and created this worldwide movement called SOMA Breath. So if you watch until the end, you will be able to learn how to breathe properly to eliminate stress, how to breathe in beats for a better health, and how to enhance your physiology, and also how to balance your autonomous nervous system. You will feel your vital life force energy, so you will enhance your vitality. You will also learn how to develop and enhance your immune system just by using the conscious control of your breath. SOMA Breath is based on 4 simple elements, which are rhythmic breathing, and it has been proven that rhythmic breathing enhances heart coherence, which leads to a better circulation of energy between your heart and your brain. The second element of SOMA Breath is intermittent hypoxia, in other words, breath retentions after inhales and after exhales. The third element of SOMA Breath is the pelvic floor muscles contraction, which helps to awaken your dormant superpower that is lying within yourself. And the last element is the use of a sigh of good feeling that goes like ah on each exhale. And using that sigh of good feeling helps to spread the good vibrations and the good sensations all over your body. Now let's begin. And it all starts with the Bohr effect. Now you might wonder what the Bohr effect is. And basically it's the affinity of red blood cells for oxygen. When carbon dioxide levels are high in the blood, and then oxygen comes off red blood cells and goes into the tissue cells and the muscles where we need it more easily. When we breathe faster and more erratically, and we do what is called hyperventilation, then the carbon dioxide levels stay low, which can lead to respiratory alkalosis and also to panic, nervousness, and anxiety. By slowing the breath down, this allows you to become more tolerant to carbon dioxide, which you may or may not know has a dilating effect on blood vessels. You then become more agile, relaxed, and more in your flow. One of the components of SOMA Breath, that is rhythmic breathing, helps to breathe more carbon dioxide out by extending our exhales, and then blood cells are fully saturated in oxygen, which creates carbonic acid, which lowers the pH of the blood. During day-to-day life, by being more conscious of our breath and being aware of when you start to breathe through your mouth, you might realize that you are bringing too much oxygen and breathing out too much carbon dioxide. And once you are conscious of that, you can have a nice balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide during the day. And then you are getting the optimum amount of oxygen coming into the tissue cells and the muscles and all the areas where it is needed. Now let's focus on the autonomous nervous system, which is made of the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. When we inhale, we stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, which is in charge of creating stress and linked to action, and then our heart rate goes up a little bit. And when we exhale, we stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is in charge of relaxation, and our heart rate goes down. And once again, what we are looking for is the right balance between the two nervous systems for a good health. Now, in the ancient times, we were living in the jungle. We needed to defend ourselves or run away for our lives from these predators like bears, tigers, and lions. And as soon as the predators were taken away, the stress faded away. Nowadays, we are living in an environment where we are constantly bombarded by stress. We are living in concrete jungles where fear is propagated by the media, the ads, the bills we have to pay, the deadlines, and the angry bosses. And as we wake up, some people are using caffeine and also energy drinks in the daytime. Most people are having a job that they don't like, and they are doing what they don't want to do all day long. Then they come back home and have a bad relationship. So most people are emotionally stressed, and most of this stress we are creating ourselves. And this stress has the same physiological response for the body. And the body still thinks that it is being attacked as it pumps out adrenaline and cortisol, these stress hormones. And you may or may not know that cortisol creates vasoconstriction, which makes the blood vessels go down, and it also triggers inflammation. Then we feel too much blood pressure against the sides of the blood vessels, and that might be a precursor to heart diseases because of too high blood pressure and this negative stress that we are creating. Now, when we focus on the brain, we can divide the brain in 3 parts. And basically, there is the reptilian brain, which processes fear and is in charge of survival mode, and it controls the vital functions like the heart rates, our breathing, our body temperature and balance, and is also subject to the external stresses we were talking about. Then you have the limbic system, which deals with the emotions and the desires and the value judgments. And finally, we have the neocortex, which deals with the intellectual functions like reasoning, imagination, creativity, and problem solving. And when you combine the reptilian brain and the limbic system, these are the components of the subconscious mind. If you want to turn off stress and turn on healing, we have to activate our parasympathetic nervous system. If you remember, the sympathetic nervous system is in charge of fight or flight. It makes the heartbeat faster. It brings more oxygen to the muscles in order to react more quickly. And in this state, the body is alert, ready for action. But being in this state more than necessary creates oxidative stress. While the parasympathetic nervous system lowers heart rate, lowers blood pressure, and stimulates healing. So the secret to healing and to tapping into our inner pharmacy is by activating our parasympathetic nervous system. When you think of nature, it has an incredible capacity to heal itself. As you remember, the autonomous nervous system is made of the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The sympathetic is in charge of creating adrenaline, cortisol, and these stress hormones, and also energy and movement in the body, and is stimulated by our inhale, while the parasympathetic is in charge of rest and digest, and it gets you to relax, to sleep, and to regenerate, and is stimulated by our exhale. One component of SOMA breath is rhythmic breathing, and that is the secret of staying healthy, because when you do it a few minutes a day, it gets you in a relaxed state, and it's the best way to prevent indigestion and heartburn, as it triggers a state of self-healing. And we are using several rhythmic breathing patterns, and one of them is the 4-4 pattern, which means we are inhaling for 4 seconds and exhaling for 4 seconds. And that allows to harmonize the heart flow, the hormones, and the enzymes. And in order to feel more relaxed and to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, in order to trigger self-healing, we double the exhale time, and then we use the other rhythmic breathing pattern, which is 2-4. And in this pattern, we are inhaling for 2 seconds and exhaling for 4 seconds. Now, when you think about it, every single function has a rhythm. And it starts with our heart rate, which is beating the beat of our life. And there are also 3 types of biorhythms that we use. A principle that we are influenced by physical, emotional, and intellectual cycles. And the circadian rhythm, for example, is based on 24 hours. And our sleep, our thirst, and our appetite are based on that rhythm. Then we have the ultradian rhythm, which is less than 24 hours. And for example, our blood circulation, our pulse, our heart rate, our thermoregulation are all based on the ultradian rhythm. And finally, we find the infradian rhythm, which is more than 24 hours. And the best example for this are the seasons, hibernation, plants germination, or even the women's cycle, which are all infradian rhythms. Now, a few minutes of rhythmic breathing every day can harmonize every function in your body. You then create a state called heart coherence. And as you can see on the pictures, when you are in heart coherence, you can see that your heart is pulsing at a much more stable rate. And the reason why we are using music in SOMA breath is because it makes it easier and effortless. Heart coherence is an optimum blood flow between your brain and your heart. And it's like magic stuff. You are developing your heart coherence just by breathing consciously. In SOMA breath, we are using the 2 main rhythms, which are breathing patterns like 2-4 and 4-4. And the first one allows to switch on the parasympathetic nervous system at will, since we are extending our exhale. And a few minutes is enough if you are feeling stressed, as it's going to be a massive relief, and it stays switched on for a while. And then we use the 4-4 breathing pattern, which harmonizes all functions and creates balance in the nervous system. And the magic of SOMA breath lies in this sequence: the rhythmic breathing using the 2-4 breathing pattern, the 4-4 breathing pattern, and the breath retention. And this retention helps to enhance the oxygen efficiency. And then this is how you enhance your immune system with the conscious control of your breath. And this is how your mitochondria, these parts of our cells which are in charge of creating the photonic energy called ATP, which goes for adenosine triphosphate, are more efficient. You're then able to breathe less over time, and you have more endurance, more stamina, and less risks of disease, and you live longer. Now, another aspect of SOMA breath, as you remember, is the squeeze of the pelvic floor, which helps to awaken the dormant superpower within. So when we combine rhythmic breathing with this sexual creative life force energy by squeezing our pelvic floor muscles, which is our perineum, which is also called the Mula Bandha chakra, this is the secret to unlocking the dormant superpower that is lying within ourselves, bringing the brain into certain states, such as the alpha state, You may or may not know that the energy of the orgasm changes the brain and wakes up our sexual energy, which is our creative life force energy. And we can create the same kind of state as the orgasmic state and make it last longer with music, with breath holds, and also by squeezing the pelvic floor muscles. This allows to send the energy up to the higher circuits, which is considered like the activation of the third eye. So by squeezing the pelvic floor muscles, you can imagine it's like holding your urine and drawing up your muscles. Now, the next element of SOMA breath is the intermittent hypoxic training. You can see all the benefits on this picture. And basically, this is when you practice breath retention, which means holding your breath for a few seconds after inhales and after exhales. You may or may not know that in the 1930s, Russian scientists discovered that by camping in high altitudes, people would become more resilient and stronger because of the lower level of oxygen. And nowadays, professional athletes are using this training method, which is known as mountain training. And inside our cells, we find mitochondria, which produce the photonic energy called ATP. And in the Occidental world, lots of diseases are linked to mitochondrial dysfunction, which can be corrected with hypoxia. And you can imagine it like a fire. It needs air to burn. And when there is too much air, there is too much oxygen, which causes oxidative stress, free radical damage, and cell death, and also diseases. On the other hand, when there is too little oxygen, the fire doesn't burn at all. So what we are looking for once again is the right balance. So you might wonder why holding our breath? And the answer is to balance our autonomous nervous systems and to be more efficient at using less oxygen. When you take the word pranayama, it means energy control. And this intermittent hypoxia, in other words, breath retentions, are training the body to be more efficient at using less oxygen. We then have less damage and less fire, which leads to a longer and healthier life. And that is the reason why yogis who live in the Himalayas are living longer and looking younger. Now, the word breath comes from the Latin root spiritu, and spirituality means to breathe. So by using breath retentions, these breath retentions can be used on inhales or exhales, and we can enter in the state where the default mode network, which is linked to the ego, quiets down. Because when you think about it, all thoughts are coming from our breath. When you are inspired, you are breathing in, and when you are expired, you are breathing out. And it's just like a state of the death of the ego while you are conscious. That is the magic of meditating, using this revolutionary breath work called SOMA breath. One of the most revered techniques of the pranayama is the breath retentions, which is called kumbhaka. Since every thought creates tension in our body, retention after exhales helps us to reach the no-mind state and to quiet our ego. By learning to extend your exhalation times and breath retention times, you can heal chronic pain and many other problems like degenerative diseases, which arise by a lack of blood flow caused by tension. That is the magic of pranayama. You are controlling your energy by consciously controlling your breath. So after 90 seconds of breath retention, the oxygen levels go down in the blood, and practicing hypoxia helps you to become more efficient at using oxygen, as it triggers positive stress response, and the body adapts to having less oxygen than normal by making you more efficient at using oxygen. It then produces red blood cells and causes vasodilation, which is an expansion of the size of the blood arteries and veins. You then increase your blood flow to the brain, to the heart, and to the organs, and you avoid oxidative stress, inflammation, cell damage, and degeneration. You may or may not know this basic equation, which helps to understand how the body creates our photonic life energy inside our mitochondria. Glucose and oxygen gives carbon dioxide, water, and ATP. Imagine like the fires we can see in the summer in Australia or California. If there is too much wind, the wildfire will burn too much. And basically it's the same, just like in our cells. When there is too much oxygen, that can lead to oxidative stress. And when there is too little, the fire doesn't burn at all, and we are feeling a lack of energy. Now on this picture, you can see a cell on the left with all the different components, and on the right you can see a mitochondria, which is the part of the cell in charge of creating the photonic energy. And once again, what we need is the right balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide, and that happens when we are breathing less, not more, which might be counterintuitive, and still that is the scientific reality. The best way to figure this out is to observe nature. And for example, the animals that are living longer are breathing less and slow, like elephants and turtles. And the animals that are living a short period of time are breathing fast, like squirrels and rats. And humans have the conscious ability to control the rate of their breathing. And through the understanding of oxygen efficiency, we can extend our lifespan by training ourselves to need less oxygen. And breath retention techniques are one of the most powerful methods in order to achieve that. And that leads to stem cells activation. And the deeper we go in breath retention, the more we activate our stem cells, and the more we trigger our self-healing. You might wonder what stem cells are, and these are the cells which are created inside our bones, and the reason why they are here is because they don't like oxygen, and that is the place in our body where there is less oxygen. And so stem cells are the cells produced by our body before being differentiated, before becoming neurons and enterocytes and hepatocytes and cardiac cells or even osteocytes. These are the stem cells. The legend of Soma finds its origins in the most ancient Indian manuscript called the Rig Veda. And basically, our soma within is our endogenous substances such as DMT, serotonin, tryptamine, dopamine, endomorphins, and oxytocins, and all these feel-good hormones and substances that our body is secreting. Originally, the soma was an ancient psychedelic concoction that involved natural plants such as psilocybin, which is the active ingredient of the psychedelic mushrooms, and also ayahuasca and cannabis. And in these times, people were living in harmony with nature and with each other. And this concoction was used by shamanic tribal people as a form of worship to invoke a connection with the spirit world and communicate with the spirits. And this is how they created the foundations of civilization. So everybody wanted to experiment the psychedelics. And there comes a time when soma runs out, and then everybody freaks out because everybody was so hooked on this brew for its bliss. And the reason why it runs out is either because it got controlled by royalty and priests, and or because everyone started moving around, and since soma doesn't grow everywhere, it couldn't be found at all places. And then God Indra, which is the king of gods, said we can go inwards to discover our soma within. We can recreate everything we need internally, just like all the substances, the medicinal plants and herbs. And that became the foundation of Tantra, which goes together with yoga. Yoga is the philosophy of uniting your inner world with your outer world, while Tantra is the systems and techniques of how to do it. And you have the power to trigger all of that by taking a conscious control of your breath. The breath is the mechanism of tapping into the autonomous nervous system and activating your inner pharmacy. And the reason why it's the breath, it's our ability to consciously control it that makes the difference. It's the only automatic function that we can consciously control. The other functions that are automatic are our heartbeats, our digestion, our saliva production, or even our temperature. And it would be hard to have to consciously control all these functions and to experience and enjoy the wonderful thing called life. Before practicing, here are some instructions. The first step is to check that you are breathing properly. So I invite you to put one hand on your chest, the other hand on your belly, and observe which hand is moving first when you inhale. If it's the hand on your belly, then you are breathing from your diaphragm, and that's the correct way in order to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. Next instruction, after each inhale, we will squeeze our pelvic floor muscles. Next instruction, I invite you to practice breath holds when you will be asked to, and that will be after inhales and exhales at certain times. And now I invite you to enjoy this encounter with yourself and the bliss. Sit comfortably with your back straight in an upright position, but you can lie down with your arms by your side and your legs out straight, where you will not be disturbed. Now bring your awareness to your breath as you breathe in and out. That's right. And bring your awareness to an intention of gratitude. By becoming fully aware of a time when you were truly grateful for being alive, for being a human on this incredible experience called life. Imagine there's a movie playing in your mind and project that movie out where you are the lead character, doing what it is that makes you feel truly grateful. And for a moment now, just embody this feeling and sensations of deep gratitude. your awareness into the future moment where you would feel truly grateful if you could complete one task. And make this into the near future, either tomorrow or the following week, where by completing this task you would also feel sensations of deep gratitude. Project this movie out in your mind's eye and embody those feelings of deep gratitude as though they're happening right now. And if you cannot think into the future, then just embody a feeling of gratitude for the present moment. And make it real by turning up the dial on those good sensations as we begin to breathe in a rhythm. And you'll carry forward this vision throughout this SOMA journey as we breathe in and out. Notice that the feelings of gratitude expand and amplify. That's right. And when I say in, you're gonna breathe in. And when I say out, you're gonna breathe out the perfect rhythm and groove of the music.
In, 2, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, out.
Notice as you breathe, that feeling of gratitude expands, and turn up the dial on those good sensations with every breath you take in and out. That's right. Imagining that you are breathing in gratitude and breathing out love and all those good feelings, good sensations.
In, 2, out.
That's right, breathing in and out in a slow, smooth, consistent rhythm.
In, 2, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2.
Making sure your breath is in a smooth, constant rhythm like an ocean wave.
Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, out.
And as you breathe in and out, imagine these feelings of gratitude are expanding into every single cell of your body, healing and nourishing you with those good feelings, good sensations of gratitude.
In, 2, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, out, 2, 3, 4.
Feeling the expansion throughout your body as you wake up all of your blood vessels. feeling a warm tingling sensation growing inside your body. And notice as you breathe in the rhythm, a feeling of gratitude begins to grow and expand. Notice where this feeling begins from and give it a color.
In, two, out, two, in, two, out, two, in, two, out, two.
And observe this color expanding and rising with every breath you take in and out. That's right.
In, two,
And notice as it begins to expand, so does the feeling of deep gratitude and the good feelings, good sensations of being grateful. That's right.
out, two, in, two, out, two, in, two, out, two, in, two, out, two, in, two, out, two, in.
That's right. Getting ready to take a deep breath. That's right. Feeling yourself supercharging. As you breathe fully in, squeeze and let go and breathe fully out. And hold your breath. As you hold your breath, you go into a moment of deep relaxation and inner peace. As life is just a series of inhales and exhales. As you hold your breath, you press pause on life. You go into a moment of deep relaxation. This allows the thought files to reassemble, giving you a sense of freedom, clarity, and joy. And if you get an urge to breathe, override the first sensation to breathe and just push it a little bit beyond the comfort zone. And then take a little sip in and exhale fully out. And hold your breath. Going back into that deep state of meditation. Bring your awareness to those good feelings, good sensations of all this energy that you have just brought into your body, healing and nourishing every cell. As you go deeper and deeper within your own mind, enjoy the bliss. And when you get that really strong urge to breathe, see if you can override that feeling just for a moment. Push past the comfort zone. As a metaphor for life, as you go beyond the comfort zone, this is when the strength and growth happens. So embody that and overcome any fear, any sense of control, and just let go and surrender to the moment. As you break free and liberate. And then when you get a big strong urge to breathe, breathe fully in. Hold. Squeeze. And hold your breath as long as it's comfortable. And just gently let go with a sigh of good feeling. Ah. Let's get ready to breathe in beats.
In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. 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 In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4.
That's right. Supercharged with all this new energy from the universe. Call it in. That's right. Because you're amazing. You are a miracle. And you already have everything you need to receive infinite love, health, wealth, abundance are yours. Just open your heart, open your mind, and connect to the white light within. This is who you truly are. That's right. That's right. Keep breathing. Keep connecting. Because you're amazing. As you breathe in gratitude and breathe out love, make your intention clear and embody this future moment where you experience the greatest joy, the greatest liberation. Knowing that you're on a path, a journey to where you want to go, where you deserve to flow as you grow. Become one with all that is, as you are amazing, a miracle, and you have everything you need to receive. Just open your heart and let the love pour in. That's right. go.
Fully out.
And exhale. Letting go of all that remaining air, and then hold your breath. Going back into that moment of absolute stillness. Deepest, most profound state of meditation, as you connect with the essence of your soul. Imagine all of this new energy is penetrating every cell in your body, the SOMA, supercharging you with your future, aligning your inner world with your outer world, with your truth. Taking you into an absolute state of flow as you go beyond what you thought was possible. And when you get that first sensation to breathe, override that first sensation. And then take a little sip in and exhale fully, holding your breath. And again, going beyond the comfort zone. As you go beyond the comfort zone, this is when strength, this is when growth, this is when expansion and magic, the truth of who you are, happens. Where you turn the impossible into I'm possible. So when you get that next sensation to breathe, override that one more time. And then take a full deep breath, fully in, squeeze and hold, and imagine shooting up this energy, up, 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 as you hold your breath fully in. Imagine sending this electric current of consciousness up into your midbrain, illuminating your higher power. And imagine this white light starts to radiate all the way through your body, illuminating you, expanding, radiating out in the cosmos. Sending information to your higher self to bring you into absolute alignment. Absolute alignment. You will move forward with a newfound sense of heightened energy. Heightened awareness and inspired thinking. As you become activated, take forward this journey and feeling of gratitude wherever you go, and notice as it rubs off around you. And be grateful for the feeling that you give to others as you vibe at a higher frequency. And notice as you vibe with that higher frequency, it begins to help you attract the tribe that is also at your wavelength, helping you and supporting you forward through your journey in life. That's right. Much love and positive energy for the day ahead. Peace. I would like to thank you for watching this video, and you can engage with me by using this email or on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. And I would like to add that I love you and appreciate you. Please take care of yourselves and the ones you love. Stay safe and happy. Sending you lots of love and positive energy on the day ahead. Peace.